Chad Gable hints at a future U.S. title feud with LA Knight. Plus, Randy Orton signs a new contract with the WWE, and an AEW star is moving to WWE. And we're going to break down all this news for you guys coming up on this episode of Wrestle Digest. But before we get into it, we're on the road for 3,000 subscribers here before the end of the summer, so if you're not subscribed already, make sure to go down below and hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on everything that's happening around the wrestling world. But with that said, Brady, let's just jump right into it because we got a lot to talk about today. First off is Randy Orton signs a new contract with the WWE, which we're all excited about because the Viper is back for an extended amount of time here, as we see from Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select. He said that Randy Orton has agreed to a 5-year deal, which would keep him under contract until late 2029. WWE and Randy Orton did not directly confirm this news, but when Sean Ross Sapp reports something, it's almost like the Bible at this point, because he's really good at what he does at reporting this news and stuff like that. But shout out to Sean Ross Sapp. He's getting a shout out from us here on the channel. But Brady, this is amazing. Hearing that Randy Orton is signed for another 5 years, obviously having that big return earlier this year, maybe was it even last year? I think it might have been earlier this year. And ever since coming back has been immediately involved in this whole bloodline feud, and just having him signed to the WWE until he's 49, 50 years old is crazy. It makes me feel old that he's that old, but I mean, he's still a phenomenal wrestler at his age. He's in his peak form. I think he's maybe in his best shape of his career in the ring, and it's just great to hear that Randy Orton is back for another 5 years, and we got some big things in store for the Viper coming up.
I mean, this leads a lot of open-end possibilities. Love that we're going to get to see Randy Orton probably, finish his days with the WWE. I've always seen it playing out like this. I'm very, very happy that we get to see Randy Orton go out on his own terms. When he was out with the injury there for a while, I mean, I was genuinely concerned that we would never get Randy Orton back in the WWE ring. So the fact that he's fresh off a 5-year deal, I mean, come on, bring me heel Orton. Let's see Orton versus Cena one last time. Bring me Cody versus Orton. That rivalry is going to be crazy. Orton, like you said, is in the best shape of his life, and I just cannot wait to see what the Viper got left for a 5-year farewell tour.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be fun to watch. I'm a big Randy Orton fan. I know yourself.
Me too.
You are a big Randy Orton fan. It's just great to see how great shape he is after coming off such a, scary injury, that he can get back in the ring and do this every night for us fans. It's great. I'm very appreciative of what Randy Orton has done. He really got me locked into wrestling. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And it's just great to see him, like you said, finish his days off with WWE. And we did see him recently saying he made a career out of killing legends, so maybe a heel Orton turn is coming, which would be great to see. Like you said, there's so much talent in the WWE that I would love to see Randy Orton face, and he's facing one of them right now in Gunther. I think that's going to be a banger of a match.
It's going to be a great match.
Like you said, you got Cody Rhodes, you got so many people here that we want to see the Viper take on, and I'm just really excited that we have him here for the next 5 years. So we want to hear your guys' thoughts on it down below in the comment section. We're going to get into the second topic of the video today, which is AEW talent headed to WWE, and this is something that's been rumored for a long time. And of course, we're talking about Pentagon Jr. And as we see here from PW Chronicle, we're just bringing it up here now, they say multiple sources within WWE are of the belief that Pentagon Jr. will be in Orlando, Florida at some point this week. And Brady, as we all know, what's in Orlando, Florida? NXT. I mean, this is amazing. Pentagon Jr., Penta, has been one of my favorite AEW talents over there. I mean, we got to do it for the one time. Cero Miedo, because he is amazing. I can't wait. I really hope we do see him in WWE. And Brady, I know we got a lot to talk about with Penta here, but I gotta give this to you. What would an amazing match would Penta versus Rey Mysterio be? Oh my God.
Can you imagine a WrestleMania match between Penta and Rey Mysterio? I mean, two of the best masked men in the business today. I mean, Rey Mysterio obviously being the GOAT, but if some of you guys don't know Penta, please do yourself a favor. After you've watched this video, give a YouTube search to Penta, and wow, I mean, he's been with AEW since day one, and that's where I was first introduced to this guy. And let me tell you, him and Rey Fenix have put on some of the most amazing matches I've ever seen. My favorite tag team match of all time is actually Penta and Rey Fenix versus the Young Bucks. That's that one steel cage match. I'm here rambling now.
What a match, man.
What a match indeed. Just Penta, he got this aura about him too. You know, he looks cool, he is cool, and his in-ring stuff is fantastic. If Triple H manages to pull this off and Penta can be working underneath the helms of HBK, I think NXT is in for a real treat.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you basically summed it up perfectly there. I mean, this guy has been a phenomenal wrestler in AEW and wherever he's been, and now hearing that we're going to get him potentially in NXT is huge because he's just going... I mean, NXT has so much great talent down there. I can't even imagine what the roster is going to look like with Penta on it because there's going to be some banger matches on NXT. I could see Penta easily becoming an NXT champion, 100%. I could see that. I think... even though, you know, Penta and Rey Fenix were such a great tag team in AEW, I think AEW kind of underutilized Penta as a solo competitor, where he's a fantastic solo competitor. Obviously, we know how great of a tag team competitor he is, but now seeing him come to WWE and show everybody how good he is in solo matches is definitely what he needs for his career. And yeah, I'm very excited for this. I think there are a lot of opponents I would like to see match up against Penta, and Rey Mysterio is definitely on top of that list. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts about Penta coming to WWE. I know a lot of you guys are probably excited like me and Brady are here. But we're going to get into the big fish here today, Brady. The big topic of the video, which is Chad Gable hints at future feud. And yes, recently we've been loving Chad Gable here. Obviously,
we have.
Coming up against Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six. It's all been great. And I love the way that they're moving with Chad Gable right now. But he went on the Chris Van Vliet podcast where he hinted at a future feud after this whole Wyatt family, or Wyatt Six, sorry, I'm so used to the Wyatt family, whole thing he's got going on with them right now, where he actually went on to say it paraphrasing what he said here because he did have a lot to say. He said Chad Gable says he and LA Knight had very good in-ring chemistry at Money in the Bank and says he would like to work with him again in the future. Brady, and you know what this hints at? This hints at a U.S. title feud between LA Knight, and Chad Gable. And I mean, what a build up to a match this would be between these two guys, and ultimately leading up to a fantastic match between them.
All right, hear me out. So we've seen Chad Gable have fantastic matches with Sami Zayn for the IC title, not coming out on top. We've seen Chad Gable have a great debut for the Wyatt Six. I mean, my God, I don't know if anyone else could have carried a better intro for the Wyatt Six than Chad Gable. The perfect victim, I like to call Chad Gable, because he just plays it up so well. But imagine Randy on Raw, which means Chad Gable gets sent to SmackDown. Maybe we see a Chad Gable and co taking on LA Knight. Yeah, just a theory, just speculation. Probably won't happen, but I think it would be very cool to see American Made going up against LA Knight. Yeah. But here's the thing. I don't want to see LA Knight lose, man. But I want to see Chad Gable get somewhere because he's so deserving. But what do you do when there's so much talent and so little prestigious gold to be held?
Yeah.
What do you do?
I definitely agree. I'd love to see Chad Gable win. Once he's in a title match again, I think he has to win. With the amount he's after losing, he needs this belt. And we all, like, I want to see him with a belt on, whether he's heel or not. He's been a tremendous wrestler. He's proven to be a great competitor and a great person at selling the storyline with this whole Wyatt Six stuff. So you need to reward him with a title, in my opinion. So what better than taking it off LA Knight? Yeah, obviously, I wouldn't want to see that because I'm a huge LA Knight fan. I want him to have the belt for a while. But
I'm so conflicted.
I think this feud is probably going to happen well down the road. It's not something
Yeah.
we're going to see immediately because they're still involved with the whole Wyatt 6 aspect of things, and ultimately that's going to lead up to Uncle Howdy taking on Chad Gable one-on-one at a PLE. That's the way I see it going. That's the way a lot of people see it going. So until that happens, you know, and Chad Gable loses to Uncle Howdy, because there's no way he beats Uncle Howdy one-on-one in his first match, then
No.
we see this maybe feud come out between him and LA Knight. But hearing from him that, you know, he has this in-ring chemistry with LA Knight just shows that he's very comfortable with working with him, and that they would put on a classic of a match. And I think it's something that we definitely really need to see, and the winner would be up in the air. I would not be able to predict that one.
I don't even know who I would want to win that one. I mean, I'm thinking LA Knight, because, you know, I've always been with LA Knight. But Chad Gable, my God. If there's anybody who's had a year, it's certainly Chad Gable. People talk about Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley and yada yada. Yeah, but they've got gold to show for it. They've got accomplishments to show for it. Chad Gable, I mean, he's got no silverware, but wow. I mean, what a turnaround for him since the heel turn. For me personally, I mean, he's a top 5 guy.
Yeah, I think I would put Chad Gable on the top of my list for most improved WWE superstar, I guess you could say, of the year. Because, like you said, this guy has been trampled. He's been stomped over. He's been stomped into the ground by building,
Shorty G.
by building up these great rivalries and these great feuds, and, you know, he hasn't had nothing to show for it. And he's just got a new faction. I think this is just amazing work by Chad Gable we've seen over this past year, and he definitely deserves to be rewarded for it. But do you take the belt off LA Knight and give it to Chad Gable? I'm not too sure about that, but we want to hear your guys' thoughts on that down below in the comment section. What do you think? Would you give Chad Gable the US title over LA Knight? Let us know down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Like I said, we're on the road for 3,000 subscribers here before the end of the summer. So if you're not subscribed already, make sure down below and hit that subscribe button and leave a comment. We love hearing all your guys' thoughts about what's going on in wrestling. We love reading through your guys' comments. Make sure to go down and leave one. And if you want to check out a video we did the other day, it'll be popping up on your screen right now. But as always, I've been your host, KC, alongside my co-host, Brady. We'll catch you in the next one.